Okay, this is a meeting of the Curriculum Committee of the Groton Board of Education on March 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. We have in attendance Ian Thomas, Andrea Ackerman, Anne Marie Mancini, Caitlin Crowley, Shannon Weigel. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so. Okay, so first order of business is we'll call the meeting to order. And has the next thing is to look at the minutes from the February 3rd meeting and find out if anyone had any comments on those. And does anyone have any comments on the meetings minutes from February 3rd? Angie, did you have something?
No.
Okay. All right. So can somebody make a motion to approve? I guess I could make the motion to approve the minutes of February 3rd. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. We would take a vote now from everyone on approving the minutes. Does everyone approve the minutes of February 3rd?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to abstain on this one. I was not present for the February 3rd meeting.
Okay. So we have an abstention from Ian, and I believe, and I'm approving. Andrea voted yes, and Anne Marie.
I don't believe I'm a voting member, but if I am, I vote to approve.
Okay, let's consider them approved. Okay. All right. Let's move on to item 3 on the meeting agenda, the DODEA grant opportunity. And who's going to talk to that?
I'm going to speak to it just for a second, and then I'm going to hand it over to Shannon. So we have another opportunity for a DODEA grant. Well, we believe we are going to have an opportunity that is going to present itself sometime in the next couple of weeks. And, Mitch, you weren't part of our board at the time, but I know Dr. Ackerman and Mr. Thomas were. Last year, we put forward a grant that focused on math in alignment with some of the work that we're doing this year. That grant was not accepted, but no grant was accepted across the country in DODEA in this area. They only accepted accepted proposals in the world language area. But we really feel strongly that this is a good quality proposal that we've written. We're, of course, going to make some modifications this year. But we wanted to bring forward the opportunity, talk a little bit about what is included in our proposal, and see also if, and I know it would be hard to think of off the top of your head, but certainly we have some very knowledgeable members on this curriculum committee, Dr. Ackerman being a former principal. And certainly we have another educator on the committee. And I know, Mitch, you have a strong background in math and science. So we wanted to kind of talk and see if you had any additional thoughts or ideas. We certainly will bring the grant forward again, as always customary, but we thought it would be appropriate to share with this curriculum committee first. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Shannon and have her talk a little bit about the opportunity and our proposal from last year and what we would like to kind of move forward into this new grant. Shannon?
Yeah, great. Oh, shoot.
We can see you now, Shannon.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Are you able to hear me okay?
Maybe you'll have to mute when Shannon's...
Testing. Oh, shoot. I'm still getting that. I wonder if it's my phone.
Do you have another account open?
How's that? Much better. I think I had 2 screens open. Yep. So Anne-Marie gave a good overview of well, it might be best for the newcomers to the board and for anyone who's listening for me to just give a little bit of background about DODEA in general. So first of all, I'm Shannon. I'm the grants facilitator for the district. And for the past 10 years, I've helped coordinate the development of the proposal for the DODEA funding opportunity. So this is a competitive grant that's been made available to us each year for the past 10 years. And we're eligible for it because we have such a large military population. So this grant is run by DODEA, which is it's the Department of Defense Education Activity Program. It's a program within the Department of Defense that oversees all the DODEA all the Department of Defense schools across the country and around the world, and also oversee or provides additional funding opportunities for non-DOD districts, such as ours that has a pretty high military population. So like I said, we've been applying for this grant. It's a competitive grant for the past 10 years, and we've received 7 awards. We currently have 4 projects right now that are still running. One is about to wind down this year. And for this coming year, so typically the announcement for the award comes out around this time, usually in February or March, and it's a pretty quick turnaround time, usually around 3 weeks. So it's typically due in March or April. And last year, our steering committee and we received input from a larger group. As Anne-Marie said, we decided to apply for some more support for our math initiative. In that grant, we applied for a grant for $1.25 million over 5 years, so approximately $250,000 per year. And in that proposal, we asked about half of it, $600,000, was to go towards staffing to support the rollout of a new math curriculum and the professional development to go along with that. The other half of the grant or the budget, about $600,000, was to pay for the curriculum itself and some of the tools, including iReady, to support, again, the implementation of that effort. We also included some funds, I think around maybe $50,000, to continue some of the work we've done with career pathways. Specifically, those were to go towards field trips and I believe some teacher leader stipends for after school clubs, primarily at the middle school level. Like Anne-Marie said, there has not yet been, the opportunity has not been announced yet for this year, but we're expecting it's going to come out at any time. There's no guarantee that it'll happen this year, but our current project directors attended a workshop recently, and they indicated that it will likely happen this year. Our steering committee met last week to review the proposal that we had submitted last year, and just to have an initial discussion as to whether we want to resubmit the same proposal or if we want to change it for this coming year. We did, so last year, the particular program that we applied for because of the government shutdown, and because there was uncertainty around funding for DODEA, they just decided not to run that competitive grant program. The World Language Grant Program is funded through a different stream, so that was still able to go ahead, and that's going to go ahead again this year too. Yeah, we expect both programs to run this year. We received very positive feedback on even though they did not give out any awards, they did review our proposals, and we received very positive feedback on our proposal, which was encouraging. So we're hopeful if we resubmit the same proposal or sort of a similar proposal that we would be awarded again this time. So our next steps are to, get feedback from this group. The steering committee is planning to meet weekly for the next month and a half when we expect the proposal to be due. And we will also be presenting this to the elementary and secondary level principals in the next week or two. So yeah, I think that hopefully provides a good overview. I'm happy to answer any questions. Ian?
Yes,
Or-
just curious to know, are there any, is this pretty much the same as before? And do you have anything to project as far as like the intended spending for this grant?
So I think what you're asking is, do we expect to be applying for the same amount? Is that your question?
Yes.
Yes. So we will be applying for the maximum amount. We're eligible to do that because we meet the total student number criteria. So in order to apply for the 1.25, we needed to have 1,000 or more military connected students. And as of now, we have 1,005.
Okay, thank you. And just to recap, so percentage-wise, how much of this funding would be going towards elementary level math instruction versus middle school versus high school?
That's a good question. I would say we will be applying for support for K through 12 because that will, again, we'll be able to apply for the maximum amount of funding. But I believe, I don't know if I had to ballpark, I would say maybe around 60 to 75% will go towards the elementary level. I don't know. Can you speak to that, Anne-Marie?
I would say it's hard for me to estimate as well. I mean, largely this is going to focus on our K-8 initiative of bringing in a new resource, illustrative math, which I'll be talking about more extensively next month. But I certainly have presented previously to this curriculum committee, I want to say last year in the spring. And then also, if you recall, probably a couple of months ago to the full board. I talked a lot about illustrative math and some of the other math related initiatives that we're working on, building thinking classrooms. We have brought in iReady this year. So some of the funding that right now is being paid for by the board, we would divert into this grant, at least temporarily. For the time period in which we have the grant. There's some funding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shannon, because I know that we've had a couple of different iterations of this where I believe we put in for math tutors specifically at the elementary level, knowing that that was a focus last year of our board. I don't recall if as a part of this, the middle school would also be getting one or more tutors. You'll have to let me know about that, Shannon. Yes, you're saying yes.
Well, we had put in for 3 tutors with the last one, and unfortunately, I can't remember if that was elementary or.
Yeah, I think they were more elementary focused, Ian, but that's what I recall. It's been now a year. Obviously, we feel like the need. This has been a big discussion of our board: is how can we better support our students? It's something that our principals have brought forward in terms of needing more personnel. So that was our intention, is to incorporate them into this. So it's difficult for me to say percentage wise. There will be professional development for all of our teachers of mathematics, whether it's K-5 teachers, 6-8 or 9-12. There's a lot of work that that we want to do to enhance the work that we're doing in this content area.
Understood. I remember this being discussed last year, but I was going through my records. I wasn't able to find like any sort of documentation as far as like intended areas of spending, like, as far as like assigned amounts, should the grant be successful. Is that a thing that you all develop on your end? I also don't see anything in the agenda packet for this.
Well, the
Um,
grant hasn't been released yet. So we haven't put that together yet. That's something that, again, we're just started to meet as a steering committee or come back together. I think our first meeting was last week. We thought it would be important, obviously, to bring the idea or the opportunity forward to this curriculum committee. As we continue to meet, I think we have another meeting either this week or next week. We're going to we'll look very closely at that grant from last year. We'll see what modifications we need to make, and then we'll put together a budget, which of course needs to be submitted as a part of that grant. But at this point, we have not gotten that far because the grant just hasn't been released yet.
Understood. Thank you for that. So moving forward with this process, is that something that this committee could look forward to, as far as once the grant's released, to have that targeted budget presented here again, or would it go to the full board?
I don't know what the procedure is for that, but certainly can ask Superintendent Austin, have her have a conversation with Chairman Washington, and I'm certain that we would be presenting it again somewhere. But I'm happy to loop back around to this committee if that's something that there's interest in.
I would definitely put my name on the list of being interested to see something like that. So for item 3, like, there's no action attached to this. It's just a general overview and announcement of the opportunity coming through the pipeline.
Yeah, there's
And
no action associated with this. We just wanted to make everyone aware and then see again if anyone had any specific. I know it's difficult to say off the top of your head, but if there was any specific things that maybe we weren't thinking of based on what Shannon had shared was in last year's proposal, feel free to bring them forward.
all right, very well. Yeah, no, as you already noted, my interest would be to see a larger percentage put towards the foundational levels. Depending on what amounts come out, but I definitely would like to see a larger percentage attached to elementary education, but, in math. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Nobody else has anything? I have one thing. I happen to agree with Ian. And when you have more information on this, it probably would be a good idea to just talk about it at this committee. I don't think we have further action today on this, on item 3, unless anyone has any questions. And if no one has questions, can we move on to item 4? Curriculum review and recommendation for board action. IB personal and professional skills for school year 26-27.
So I want to give just everyone a little bit of a background, or maybe more of a reminder. A couple of months ago, Chris Morth came forward with with what we would normally call our new proposal, course proposal document. He talked a little bit about the IB personal and professional skills. Now, this course is a little bit unique in the way it is a course that we have a written curriculum for, but the IB World Organization has significantly revised the expectations for the course. And in alignment with our process or protocol here in Groton Public Schools, Chris actually brought forward a proposal. It basically was considered a new course. And so he secured approval from this curriculum committee to go ahead and write the course. He wrote it with a coworker. And over I would say like Christmas break mostly, but into January. And they've done an excellent job. I've personally reviewed the course. It's really, really thorough. What a great course, I think, potentially for our students to take. And now, in alignment with the next step of our process, he's presenting the full course for review. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris Morth, who is our IB coordinator at Fitch High School, and have him talk a little bit about the course and see if you have any questions.
All right. Thank you, Anne Marie. All right. So Jen Holburton and I worked on the curriculum for this over throughout December and into January. The IB Personal and Professional Skills course is the core component of our IB Career-Related program. The IB Career-Related program is our kind of merges with our career pathways program at Fitch High School, where we have students in our nursing program, our Ed Rising program, Project Lead the Way for engineering, our work-related courses, and giving them an IB option where they're getting access to higher level classes. And the personal and professional skills course is all of junior year, the first half of senior year, and it tackles all of the soft skills that students are going to need for the workplace. It tackles the community engagement part of the IB career related program, the language and cultural studies. It kind of brings everything under one roof. We also, Jen Holberton teaches our oral communications classes at Fitch High School, and she secured UConn credit for the IB personal and professional skills course. So students taking the PPS course during their junior year are going to receive UConn communications credit. Jen, maybe you can speak to exactly what UConn course that is.
Sure. Hi there, everybody. So when Chris approached me about the personal and professional skills class, I was super excited because it aligns so well with what I already teach in the communications one class, which is an interpersonal communications class, and I also teach UConn public speaking, which is our Com2 class. So when Chris brought me the overview of the personal and professional skills class, I noticed that it aligned amazingly with the UConn Com 1000 class, which is their interpersonal com class. So now kids will have the option to take a com 1 class, the com 2 class, which is public speaking, and now with personal and professional skills, they can get another set of UConn credits, which is going to be the intrapersonal, and kind of more of a media and com approach. So we aligned the 6 quarters of the personal and professional skills class with the 4 units in the UConn as well.
So yeah, I'm not sure. Do we have any questions? That's kind of the Reader's Digest version of what the course is going to be about and what our students are going to get out of it.
Because I had somebody read me this afternoon, and I was amazed at how beautifully done this was. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. We're pretty happy with how it turned out. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. It's a great compliment. And we did have a lot of fun. We're really proud of it.
Ian?
Yes, a few questions. Is there a minimum number of students that will be required to run the class?
We have 15 students in it this year. We're still waiting on our enrollment numbers for next year. So I know what we have right now, but yeah, what it takes to run the course is above my pay grade, unfortunately.
Understood. And I think you already spoke to this, but the current course that runs in Fitch of IB Personal Professional Skills 1, this class is going to supersede that class. That class will expire, and this is now the current version of that class?
Yes. So yeah, correct. So the IB revised their curriculum for this cohort of students. So we kind of put everything together for this year. So our students who are going through the program this year we kind of did this on the fly and have been giving it to them this year. The idea is that next year, our cohort coming in next year is going to get this done properly from day one. They'll have the full course. Our juniors this year are only getting a semester of PPS as juniors, and then they'll get another semester senior year. So we've expanded the course out to be a full year for junior year and then a semester senior year.
Got it. Thank you. And you mentioned earlier that there are ECE credits available with this class upon successful completion?
Yep. So
Yes.
I already submitted it to UConn and they've already approved it. So if the kids take the class for all of their junior year and receive a C or better, then they will have the 3 UConn credits that go along with it.
Got it. And UConn credits are usually pretty good all across the board with most colleges.
Yeah,
True,
they're
they
the gold
believe
standard
they-
of New England and throughout almost any public school in the country.
Got it. Yeah. So ECE credits are pretty much universal, more or less. If we see that tag, we know that class is good pretty much with any college.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And last one, is there teacher training needed for this class, or is it pretty much a straight crossover?
We have two teachers teaching. Well, so Anne Verbotnik has already been trained. She's getting the updated training in June, and then Jen Holberton went this fall to get the training. So she'll be teaching the junior section of the course starting in the next fall. So we are all up to date on training to go forward.
Excellent. And I guess actually I have one more. So this class, is this an integral part of the IB diploma program, or is this more attached to the career pathways program, or both?
This is part of so we have two IB branches for our juniors and seniors. We have the diploma program, which has theory of knowledge as the core of that. The career related program, personal and professional skills, is the central part of that. So it's the theory of knowledge, but for the career related program instead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I lost track there a little bit. Could you say that again? I'm sorry.
So when our students go to 11th grade, we have two different IB programs to offer them. We have the diploma program, which is the one that we've had at Fitch High School for 25 years now. That program has theory of knowledge. That's the core course of that every diploma kid takes. Over the last couple of years, now we are offering the IB career related program, which is a career focused program for 11th and 12th graders. The personal and professional skills course is the nexus of that. It's the central core course that handles all of that for those students.
Got it. So this is basically like a theory of knowledge, but instead for the career pathways course.
Correct.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Okay, this is Mitch. I have a question. Was this funded in our budget? Anne Marie, do you recall?
So the writing of the course was actually funded through Title IV funds that come to us from the State Department of Education. And I believe Chris also asked me for like a resource, like a book or a couple copies of a book, which I was also able to fund through Title IV. Title IV, there are three different kind of like broad areas, I call them buckets, on which you can expend those funds. The first one is making sure that you have rigorous academic programs under which IB falls, AP. The second bucket has to do with like social emotional learning and family engagement. And the third is a technology bucket. And each part or each one of those I would say, I'm going to keep calling them buckets. Each one of those areas, there's a certain percentage on which you have to spend. Like if, say, for example, we have $100,000. I don't remember the exact amount that we get for Title IV. It's more than that, I believe. But you have to spend like maybe 30% in academics, 30% on or like maybe it's like 40%, 30%, and then another 30% on technology. Technology actually is the least amount that you have to of the area that you have to spend on. I believe right now we have very minimal amount of money there because you can't purchase hardware with that grant. So you can only purchase things like, say, for example, a teacher wanted to take an online professional development, or we wanted to purchase some software licenses. That's what you can use Title IV funds for. But we mostly use it for our academic area. And it's a good grant in that way.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone else have any questions on this? Is there I believe we have an action here for item 4 as to whether or not we want to make a recommendation that this go to the board for action. I'll put that on the floor. Is there a second?
Definitely.
Okay.
That's Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you. Okay. So can everybody, we got to vote about bringing this to the board? I'm in favor. I think Andrea's in favor. Ian?
Yes, I'm in favor.
Okay. So I think that's a pass that we will bring. This should come up on the at the next applicable BOE meeting.
Yeah, and just to clarify too, Mitch, and I know that you're new to this particular committee, as well as Mr. Thomas. This was a recommendation from Dr. Ackerman, I believe, that as a part of our new process, not only would it be recommended to the board, like a new course, for example, be brought forward, but also that you would recommend as a curriculum committee, like we reviewed this course, we've had an opportunity to talk to Ms. Halberton, Mr. Morth. And based on, our review of the curriculum and, asking questions, we recommend that the course be approved. Like you're recommending an action on behalf of this committee. So I'm not saying that that's where you stand right now, but I believe that as a part of our new protocol, they'll be looking for this board's recommendation. Yes, adopt the new curriculum, or no, maybe it needs more revisions. So just be aware of that. Chairman Washington may ask you for specifics.
Yeah, that's correct, Emery.
Wait,
Okay.
so just a point of parliamentary procedure here. So is that the established process now? Is that implicit with my vote to move this out of committee that it's
It is. We have revised the curriculum development and adoption process. It's new. It's revised our policy maybe about now a month or two ago, and that is part of the new process.
Well, being aware of that now, I'd like to change my vote as I wasn't aware of that parameter. And I'll just switch it to an abstain. I'm
Okay.
not necessarily opposed, but I'm not. I don't want to have a full-throated endorsement of it either.
Okay. Looks like Adrian just came on board, and he has a question. Adrian?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for giving the presentation. I was just looking back at the meeting minutes, and it looks like it was tabled. It said the committee tabled the agenda item for the next meeting, and that was on October 6th. But I don't see that in the November meeting minutes. So do you know when that was approved by the board, Anne Marie?
I believe it went forward to the full board around December 1st or December 8th. But if you, I'm sharing my screen right now, but if you go to the policies, I believe this is like 6-1, it's not 6146, but it's like 6114. It will give you the adoption date of that, or the revision date for that policy.
Oh yeah, I'm actually just talking about if the board approved writing this curriculum if the committee approved writing this curriculum in the first place, because like I said, I just see in the meeting in the October 6th minutes, I remember there was just some question and it said we tabled the agenda item for the next meeting. And then November 3rd was the next meeting, I believe, unless there was another one in the middle there. I just
I believe there was another one because
Oh, wait, actually, there's an October 22nd. Let me see if it's in there. Um, I don't see it in the October 22nd meeting minutes either.
Yeah, I know for a fact that we talked about this. There was some question originally. Mr. North presented, at least that day, if not a second time. And you and I know had an offline conversation, Adrian, about because the original process was about recommending it to go forward to the board, but it was not about approval. And that was the question about whether or not a course was actually a course proposal was actually getting approved. And upon closer read of the last protocol or process for curriculum review, it was that this committee would recommend a proposal be brought forward to the board. And so that's what wound up happening. This was part of our revision process and why I believe Dr. Ackerman specifically asked for board action and put that clarification into the new policy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that policy was later in November, December. I guess, I mean, it's something that that you can get back to us on if you don't mind just looking into the record or having somebody look into the records, just because the minutes seem to reflect something different. I would be inaccurate if I said I had a perfect memory.
Mhm.
But I just like with the old and the new policies, it would have required the curriculum committee kind of signing off on it. The old policy, I think, then required the board, or the new policy, or the old policy required the board, but the new policy, which this kind of falls in the middle of, could go either way.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I want to note that I would not bring something forward to the full board, and I don't believe, Adrian, you would allow me to if it wasn't moved forward, with your approval as the former chair. So I just want to kind of keep that in mind that this, all protocols were followed here. I'm happy to go and, I don't know if the minutes are accurate in terms of, what actually happened. I don't, completely, from now, I'm not looking back on October or November minutes, but I can guarantee you that, you know, following my own code of ethics, I would not have moved forward a course for approval that had not been first approved according to our protocols by this committee.
All right. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I understand that. I guess I would just say if you wouldn't mind, just check into it,
Yep,
for
I'm
when it
happy to
comes.
do that, but I don't believe that should hold up this course moving forward. These two teachers have put in a monumental amount of effort into this. They have written a very quality course, and to kind of delay this another month because we have to go back and look at a video. I just don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it should be, and if it was an oversight, I think we can make mistakes, and not hold up the curriculum because of it. So I'm not saying that we should hold it up. I just didn't remember actually, approving it, and then when I look back at the minutes, I didn't see that either. So either way, I don't think that should affect, the outcome of this curriculum. I think it's fair to know what the history is and see if we actually approved it. So, but thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Dr. Ackerman, you have your hand up.
Yes. So let me just get clarification. I'm understanding that we are approving it tonight or to move it forward to the board with the recommendation that they approve it. I don't know if the word approve was right in there, but that we are moving it with our recommendation that the board approve this curriculum. Is that correct?
That's correct, Dr. Ackerman,
Yeah.
based
And-
on the new policy.
Yeah, and that's what we all agreed to begin with, that's the way we would do it. Yes?
Yes, that's correct, Dr. Ackerman.
Okay. All right, that was it. Now, if I could just see how to lower my hand. Oh. Okay, let me see. Okay.
Okay, so just to recap, unless anyone has any questions, it seems to me that we are going to recommend that this be presented to the BOE and recommend that the BOE approve this. And Ian, well, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mitch. Yeah, so I just was looking up on the policy. It is 6141. And step 1 is presented to the superintendent or assistant superintendent for approval. Step 2 is presented to the Board of Education Curriculum Committee for review and recommendation. Step 3, upon approval, curriculum is written. Step 4 is Board of Education Curriculum Committee will review and make a recommendation to the full board for action. And then step 5 is curriculum is then presented to the Board of Education for final approval. So if I'm understanding this correctly, we are now at step 4. Is that correct, Dr. Mancini?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. I'm good to proceed. That being the case, never mind. I was misunderstanding what was being said earlier. So I'm good with my original vote of in favor.
Okay, so are you all set now, Ian?
Yes.
your hand-
Thank you. Yeah. I'll
Okay.
take it down.
So I think it's unanimous now that we'll go ahead with this. and present it to the board with a recommendation that they adopt it. So if everyone's good with that, we'll move on to item 5. Review of new course proposals, discrete mathematics and IB language and literature.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Anne Marie.
Okay, thank you, Mitch. So we have 2 new course proposals coming forward. These are not full documents. These are courses that people at our high school want to bring forward, offer to students. And they have created these proposals. There's probably about 2 pages in length. Hopefully you had an opportunity to review them in advance. The first course is going to be called Discrete Mathematics. And I'm going to turn it over to our math team who is on the call. By the way, just for note, these courses will not be offered next school year. If it's approved that these can move forward, our teachers would then go off, use next year to write the course, and then would come back just like Mr. Morth just did and present the full curriculum. So this is a step before that, actually 2 steps before coming forward again. And I just wanted to kind of set that context. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin Crowley, our supervisor of mathematics, and Danielle Mulligan, our teacher who I believe developed the course proposal.
Hi, how are you? So Caitlin Crowley here. So we would like to bring discrete math as a math course to the high school. Danielle already applied to UConn and got approval to make this course an ECE UConn course, as Jen Holberton explained earlier, that if a student receives a C or better in the course, then they will receive 3 credits from UConn, which, as we know, has been really successful with transferring those to other locations. But this course would be intended for seniors as a senior elective. Right now in the math department, most of our ECE courses are either honors level or AP level. So right now for our ECE courses, we have AP Calculus BC, AP Statistics. For Eastern Connecticut College course ECE courses, it's honors pre-calculus and honors calculus. So this would give students an opportunity to take a non-honors, non-IAP course and still get that ECE opportunity. So I'm really excited to potentially bring this course to Fitch to give students, an opportunity to get those college credits from UConn, and it's not an AP or an honors level course. So that's really the driving force for bringing this to Fitch. Danielle was the teacher that brought this course to me, and her and I developed the proposal. So Danielle, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Caitlin. The reason I brought this to the table was, just as Caitlin said, an opportunity for seniors to have another option that wasn't daunting or out of what felt like out of their reach in terms of AP or honors, and something that kind of offers topics that are obtainable from a standpoint of no background knowledge. So things like set theory, graph theory, knot theory, some combinatorics with video games and card games and things like that, that tie into the UConn discrete course. And any discrete course really is kind of a modge podge of interesting math that kind of lives on its own island. This was one of my favorite classes that I took in college, and it kind of opened my eyes to other things that existed that weren't just algebra, geometry, stats, and calc. So I thought it was a good opportunity to create something that students might find a particular interest in, that might bring them closer to math as an option, rather than kind of shying away from it for their senior year. But other than that, Caitlin said everything perfectly, so nothing really to add unless there's questions.
I think the other thing to kind of piggyback off of what Danielle was saying is it's so important that our students take math during their senior year. Otherwise, if they, for example, if it's not required, or they just opt not to take it, they have that gap before then they go on to college level. And it's really hard, I believe, if you're not doing math all the time, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself as a former English teacher, but I would imagine for everybody, if you're not using those skills all the time, it would be difficult for them to pick back up into a math course there during their freshman year or maybe even sophomore year of college, depending on when they're scheduled for it, after having a lapse in their education, so to speak.
Okay, Ian, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, just a few questions. I think you kind of addressed one already. But you said specifically that the class is going to be run as an ECE class in its first year. Is that correct?
Yep. Danielle already applied to UConn and she already was granted approval from UConn. So she currently is an adjunct professor at UConn because she has the
Perfect.
approval.
And the other question was why this was as a college prep level, not an honors level class. Again, it sounded like you kind of addressed that you wanted to increase the opportunity for, um, college prep level course takers to have ECE courses available to them. That's the idea.
Yeah, that's definitely the idea, and it's an entry point into what they're going to see at a college level and a more uh, kind of ambiguous math rather than those straightforward what you expect 9 through
Yeah,
12. So it's just a different option that might pique some interest, hopefully.
got it. Got it. So it increases accessibility to college credits and also to math from a different angle.
Yeah, and it helps with the STEM credit that they need as well. So if they don't want to take a science elective and they want to fill it with a math course, now they have an option that's again a college prep level rather than AP Calc if they don't have the prereqs, or AP Stats if they don't want to take an AP.
Got it. All right. Appreciate that. And in the weighted grading process, will the quality points awarded to um be related to the college prep level or to the ECE level?
Uh,
So
There,
yeah.
so that it would be, I don't think there's a distinction between ECE. I think our weighted at the high school is college prep, honors, and then API and IB. I don't think there's a distinction between ECE
I
versus.
think I will check my records. We just had a presentation to this board not too long ago. Obviously, this would be a new course, but I believe all AP, IB, and ECE courses receive the same quality point, the same amount of quality points.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't believe that there's a distinction with that, Ian, but I would have to look. Obviously, this course hasn't been moved forward yet, but that'd be something that I would imagine it would follow that same pattern, so to speak, that, honors courses get maybe, I think it's like 0.5 quality points, and the ECE, AP, and IB kids, any of the courses that fall under that umbrella, so to speak, they get a 1.0. But I have to go back and check my notes on that. I know we just did a
Okay.
presentation on this just maybe in December we did.
Yeah. Well, that'd be great. I mean, I think if it holds true, if the theory holds true that AB or AP, IB, and ECE all carry that extra weight, it's another great opportunity for college prep level students to improve their transcripts, even if they're not in the honors level or IB classes. Um, I look forward to getting confirmation on that. Uh, and just some questions about the budget implications. So in writing any curriculum, how much budget monies are associated with writing curriculum versus regular teacher duties? I guess that's just kind of a general question, but like,
So what I've done is, since coming to Groton Public Schools, I implemented a formula, and basically I've said, okay, this is a full year course, and it's a brand new course rather than a course revision. You get, as a part of, I believe, the contract here in Groton, we always want to have at least two members of the department writing the curriculum. Sometimes there's three. And then I set a certain amount of total hours for the curriculum work. Now, sometimes people will reach out and say, hey, Emery, you gave us, I'm just saying this off the top of my head, you gave us 30 hours total. And we believe that we maybe need two more, then I'll, of course, make that allow that extension. But generally, I budget for it based on the fact that is it a brand new course? Is it a full year course or a half year course? So there's a formula that I use so that it's not just wide open. Like we're going to write a curriculum and now, however many hours it takes, it takes. That's the, so I've put a system in place essentially.
Got it. Got it. And I imagine that the budget that we just approved and sent forward to the town, there you've already kind of carved out an anticipated amount in there.
Yeah, there's some money
project?
dedicated in the teaching and learning budget for curriculum writing. And then we often will leverage some of our grants as well. Like, for example, the Title IV grant, as I mentioned, that's where we were able to fund the IB personal and professional skills. Sometimes we'll also leverage Title I funds if we have the ability, if we have some money there. And so that's generally the three areas upon which we will pull for curriculum writing funds.
Got it. Thank you. And usually, to my understanding, there's ECE annual program fees in general. Would that fee be applicable to this course? Or am I misunderstanding something? We as a district pay UConn for ECE accreditation?
I'm going to have to defer to the people on the call that know a little bit more about that. I don't know how it works here at Fitch. So I'm going to defer to the members on the call here that might know more about that. I only can tell you what happened in my former district, but I think that's a completely different experience.
I'm not sure what the school pays UConn for ECE accreditation. Jasmine Zubek is our ECE coordinator for the school. I don't know if it's like you pay per course or you pay a lump, just a sum no matter what. I don't know.
Ian, are you talking about student fees or are you talking about the district being accredited in some way?
An annual program fee. I think it's
I
on
don't
the
believe there is an annual program fee, not that one that I'm aware of. I can do more research on that. Again, I came from a district which also had a high number of offered a high number of ECE courses, and was pretty involved in that in terms of the finances. We never, in East Hartford, my former district, we never paid anything to UConn. Now, sometimes there are fees associated with a particular course. And I don't know how Fitch handles that here. Like maybe there's a certain course may expect students to purchase a particular book that's a part of the curriculum that's required, or there's other types of materials. Or sometimes there's a course fee that's associated with it. Again, I don't know how that works here at Fitch. I can tell you in my former place of work, because it was such I would say it was a district that had a lot of high need. That was something that UConn was able to waive for the students in that district. But I cannot speak with confidence about what happens here at Fitch in terms of the different whether or not there are fees. I would imagine just like with
I
other
do believe
other
there's
things.
fees for students.
What?
I do believe students need to enroll into UConn, and there is a fee. They pay, I think it's $50 for credit. Chris, I think, also noted that too. But
Yes.
I do believe that if a student qualifies for free and reduced lunch, then they get a reduced cost based on that as well. But students would have to pay a fee. I don't know if the district pays that. I'm unsure.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. The reason I'm asking, and I just want to thank Chris for chiming in there as well. I saw that pop up in the chat, and thank you, Caitlin, for bringing it up verbally in the meeting. But the only reason I'm asking about the program fees in the last page of the proposal package, there is a bullet point that mentions UConn ECE annual program fee if applicable. So I guess I was just going to get some clarity on that, but I believe Well, actually, well, in if we move forward with this curriculum, then maybe that's something that could be addressed in the presentation after the curriculum's written, is to be, have some specifics about how it would impact the budget as far as like, do we have to increase our fees to UConn? And also just to highlight the fact that, the usual $50 program fee that would be required of students, the Title I waivers are available, something like that. That could help clear it up, I think. Um,
Are you all set, Ian?
yeah. And well, as part of the cost thing, I would just say also, maybe have some information speaking to how much the district would anticipate having to spend on required professional development workshops and subs and that kind of thing, if that's would be applicable as well.
So UConn requires the teachers to stay current. So I believe Danielle, it's in there at the top, I believe. I think Danielle would have to attend the orientation, and then I think it's once a year she has to go to UConn to their
Got
to
it.
their so it would just be the sub coverage. Those workshops are free, so it would just be the sub coverage.
Okay. Thank you very much. All set, Mitch. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It seems to me that a person myself who took up through partial differential equations when I was in college, this course is a good course to take. I was looking at the actual the syllabus involved, and it looks like a good thing from my perspective. As far as what our action is on this committee, I'm going to ask for a little clarity, if you don't mind, not to put you on the spot, Anne Marie, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Are we supposed to recommend to the board that this be approved, or because this is the title review of new course proposals?
Yep. So I believe what happens next is you kind of take a vote about whether or not this course would be, it doesn't go forward to the board as a part of our new protocol, but vote whether or not that this has been approved for the teachers to go off and write the curriculum. I would, if approved, I would go and work with the Human Resources Department to post the opportunity to write the course, and teachers would apply, and then the course would be written. Eventually, again, the course would come back, the full course document would come back to you for review and recommendation for board action.
Okay, thank you. So hearing that, I think would somebody care to make a proposal, a motion on this?
Yeah,
Ian?
I'll move that we recommend moving forward to write the curriculum.
Second. That's Andrew.
Okay. And so, all right. So Ian is a yes, move forward. Andrea is,
Yes.
and I am as well. Is there anyone I've missed? So it's unanimous.
Just one note there, Mitch. While this won't go back to the board officially, I think this would definitely be something to include in the report on the next board meeting, to say like what we've approved and what curriculum is in development now. Because now like this one will just move now into the steering committee, I guess, or into Anne Marie's department, and the teachers will develop the curriculum. So we just want to make sure. Well, if I was in your shoes, I'd want to make sure the board is fully aware of that something has moved through the pipeline and advanced a step.
We'll have to send a note to Susan Austin, and I'm sure that Anne Marie will inform Susan as well, and also Beverly.
Yeah, and you can always incorporate that into your update as well, Mitch, when you have the opportunity to provide an update on what happened at our meeting.
Right.
Okay.
Every month we have the regular meeting and the committee reports. That this would be great subject matter for that committee report.
Okay, thank you.
You're
If-
welcome.
does everyone agree that we're done with the first item under 5? And we can move on now to the IB language and literature.
I'm fine to proceed.
Okay. So, Anne Marie, would you care to take the lead on that,
Sure.
please?
I'll talk about it for just a second or two. This course is brought forward by members of our English department. Mr. Morth is here again to speak about this. He's involved in this. It's an IB course, and I'm actually going to turn it over to him and let him talk a little bit about the proposal and why he's bringing it forward.
Sure. Thank you very much. All right. So quick little history. We've had the IB diploma program at Fitch High School for about 25 years, and all students in the IB program have to take an English course. And when the program was begun, there was only one IB option. It was IB literature, which is a course that is really designed for future English majors. It is all literature, novels, plays, kind of a very traditional literature course. Since then, IB has evolved their offerings and they've opened up a lot of other, we call them group one or other types of English courses. And the IB language and literature course has quickly overtaken and become the most popular option throughout the United States for students in the IB program. And it is, I think, a more modern look at what an English class can be and more in line with what UConn's freshman English classes are like. It melds some of your traditional English class. There's still literary analysis, literary study, but it moves also into you do a lot more with speeches and journalism and media studies as well, which is what a lot of those freshman college composition courses are going to, is looking at the different ways that we use language as we become a less paper-based society and we have all these other different mediums for communication. So I'm always trying to take a look at our IB offerings at Fitch High School and how can I evolve them? How can I modernize them? How can I make them more useful for our students going forward? So this is one of the ones I talked over with our department head, Jessica Dunnican, who also teaches the IB English course right now. We just recently have made our IB literature course is a UConn course. And then this summer, when I went to the UConn graduate course on the teaching of theory of writing, as I was in the course, they care a lot more about the different ways that language is being used. So I was kind of taking a critical eye to our English courses at Fitch High School and thought that moving forward, I think the language and literature course might be more useful for our students as they're moving on to college, what they're going to face, their intro to literature, intro to composition courses. And I think maybe a little bit more attractive of an option for students who not as, I'm an English teacher. I wish everybody loved reading novels and wanted to be English majors when they go into college, but that's just simply not the case. So I think this might be an option that appeals to a wider range of students. So that's why I'm bringing that forward as my proposal. Ian.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, thank you. So question, you mentioned, so would the intent of this class take the place of IB literature in the future?
Yes, the idea would be to replace IB literature with language and literature and just do a direct swap in.
Got it. And so would the goal also to create an ECE accreditation for this class?
Yeah, Jess Dunnican and myself are both ECE certified teachers. We're adjuncts there. So there should be no problem whatsoever transitioning our accreditation from the literature course to the language and literature course.
Got it. Sounds good. And let's see. Would this be the equivalent of like an Yukon English 1? I
Yeah,
guess.
so right now our junior year students get our Yukon 1004. I don't remember what their exact title is, and then senior year Yukon 1007. It would work the same way with language and literature. So they would get 3 Yukon credits for junior year, and then a separate 3 credits for the senior year class.
Got it. Great. Thank you for that. Let's see, just skim through my notes here real quick. So would any other IB Yukon English courses be removed once if this course is successfully installed?
No, the idea would be that I mean, the kids just call it IB English at Fitch High School. It's
Mhm.
technically IB Literature. We would just be replacing the 2 IB Literature courses junior and senior year with IB Language and Literature junior and senior year.
Got it. So the minimum number of students anticipated?
This year there are 40 or 41 there were 40 or 41 students enrolled. And I'm not sure about the numbers for next year. So the numbers shouldn't be an issue. Like the course always runs with plenty of kids.
And so, if I understand correctly, right now, what is about like what 2 or 3 courses versions of the IB English running now
So there
concurrently?
are there's 2 senior sections, and there was 41 kids to start the year, and Yukon only lets you have classes of 20. So we had to split that into 3 sections.
Got it. Okay. And let's see, can students earn high school credit if they decide to drop the class after 1 year?
Yeah, so all my students for this year, as long as they receive a C or higher, they'll get the Yukon credit. And then if they switch to AP or take College 12 or whatever other option senior year, they still have those Yukon credits already wrapped up.
Got it. So it carries over. So basically,
Yep,
like it's cash and carry. Like,
exactly.
all right, got it. And students that are not enrolled in the IB diploma program, um, historically, have you noticed that students that aren't in the IB diploma program, do they tend to commit? Do you have a lot of commitments between it for a 2-year program, or
I would
is
say
that
we keep about 95% of the kids who do the junior year stay for senior. Every year there's 1 to 3 kids who might drop down to College 12, but for the most part, we have a pretty high retention rate.
right? And most of those kids are not doing the full diploma program.
Correct. Of the 41 this year, there were 9 full diploma, and then there's 14 or 15 who are taking it for like one of their career related program courses. So 17, so about 40-50% are students just taking the class to take the class.
Got it. All right, thank you. And as far as like the cost for curriculum writing, it's going to be similar to what the answer was for discrete mathematics, where
I would
it's
imagine so.
yeah. Okay. Very well. Thank you for your time and thank you for your efforts.
Thank you.
Ian, are you all set now? Okay, your hand is down. Does anyone else have any questions?
No.
Okay, so we're in the same boat we were a minute ago on the discrete math course for the IB language and literature. Does anyone want to make a motion regarding this?
I move that we approve the curriculum committees to move forward with writing the curriculum for IB language and literature.
I'll second that. Now we'll take a vote. Everyone in favor, please raise your hand.
All right.
Okay, so it's unanimous. So that needs to be also brought up to the BOE. Is there anything else under item 5 that needs to be discussed? And no other questions? Okay, we'll move on to item 6, referral tracking sheet.
If I could just ask, Oh, and Dr. Mancini may be already on it. Are you going to project that? I saw
I
you
am.
click it.
Can you see it on the screen?
Not at the moment, no.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
only asking because I don't have my physical agenda packet with me, and the hot link in the electronic document is not existent for the referral tracking sheet.
Oh, okay. Let me go back to, I may just need a second here. It's showing on mine, but I may
You
have
may
to
have to,
actually,
yeah, you got to stop share of one screen
yeah,
and the other. Yeah,
okay. Let me go
appreciate it.
back.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Um, can you see this document? And does it say referral tracking sheet? Hopefully it does.
Can you blow that up?
I knew you were going to ask me that, Dr. Eckerman. Here.
Not that I'll see it anyway. Hmm,
Okay.
I can see it.
All
okay,
right. Great.
so if you read it, that would be good, because I can't see it, but that's all right if you'll read it out loud.
So it looks like we're clearing some items off of this list. Is that
Yeah,
right?
we did a pretty good job in the fall. This list was much longer, and you can see here that earlier, maybe on okay, it was in February. I was going to say I can't remember when it was, but I know it was recently. We reviewed the program of studies for um, the middle and high school. We have also done a review of the math curriculum last spring on April the 4th, and then just recently to the full board on November the 25th. It hasn't been crossed off because, from what I understand, this is an update, because it's math, it's a major area, just like the reading and writing. We did an update last April. This is something that I believe will, people would want regular updates on what we're doing with math and literacy. So we've just added the dates, but have not crossed it or removed those two items from the tracking system. And then what's left is develop a schedule for curriculum updates in all subject areas. And that's something that I'm working on. When I started the job, now that's dated on November 3rd, 2023. And I can tell you that when I started uh, the job last September, there was a curriculum schedule, but it was very inaccurate. I think some of that may have been impacted by COVID, but I'm currently working on developing a new document that includes all of the updates for the different subject areas, and hope to get that to you sooner than later. But to be honest with you, I really had to start all from the beginning, because what was in place just, again, there's no other way to say it, but it was very inaccurate. And then the final item here was a discussion of the study of IB. I know Mr. Thomas is on the call. I would love to get more clarification of what exactly he would want as a part of that, but I'm happy to bring that forward in the coming months.
Sure, I can respond to that if I'm good to go, Mitch.
So
Okay, well,
sorry, it took me a minute to unmute. You're good to go. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so basically what I was looking to do was maybe just kind of get a broad overview as Mr. Morth was saying earlier. This program has been in Fitch in one form or another for over about 25 years. So I think, just looking at the statistics of all the courses that we offer currently, you know, getting statistics on how many students sign up for the full diploma program, how many successfully complete the program. Um, year to year. And just gonna get a sense of and average class sizes for each of those classes. And take a look at all the courses that we're offering, see if there's like, duplication of efforts anywhere. I mean, it sounds like, I was encouraged by the discussion tonight that it sounds like, we're developing new curriculum to kind of be more appealing to a broader base and more useful, with ECE credits, and then more universally useful, I should say. And then we're sunsetting some of the courses that would have duplicated those. So, it sounds like, we've got a pretty good finger on the pulse already, but I think both for the community and for, myself and other board members who have had some concerns about the IB program in the past, how many resources it really consumes versus the deliverables on the other end. Um, I think that was the goal with that referral, was to kind of get do a program audit of some sort to kind of, you know, get a good sense of the history and the statistics attached to it. Does that help?
Yes, it does. That's great, and I'm sure that that's something that we can put together for you pretty soon.
Great. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other discussion on this, Anne Marie? Anything else that you needed to present to us on this?
No, there's not. Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions on it? Okay, so I don't think we have any action on this except to do what we just did. And we can probably close this item on the agenda, which would put us at item, I think, at 7. Which I think was future items. Future meeting topics. Is there anything to bring up for that?
I have nothing at this time.
Nothing.
Okay, I had nothing. Anne Marie, is there anything you could think of?
I can tell you, just giving you a little preview of what's going to be coming soon, is I'd like to move forward with come forward to the curriculum committee and talk in the next coming months about again the results of our pilot of the math resource, illustrative math. I know I've spoken to this group about illustrative math last spring, and then also to the full board in just a couple of months ago. But I'd like to give an update, a final update on where we are with illustrative math, and make a recommendation to move forward. So we'll talk about that, I believe, next month. Our middle school ELA team is also in the process of piloting 3 different curricula. I think I've mentioned this as well, as a part of maybe the budgeting process, that they were using the old Readers and Writers Workshop curriculum, which we know is no longer in favor from the State Department of Education. So I've been working with them to research and implement a pilot, so to speak, 3 different curriculum resources. They will have a recommendation in the coming months, I believe by April. And so I'd like to present that as well. So that'll be just a preview of our March and April meetings. Oh, I'm sorry, April and May meetings, because now it's March right now. I apologize. I thought I was in February there for a second. Dr. Ackerman?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Anne Marie, because when I looked at the referral sheet, there was nothing on there about the middle school language arts program. And I truly can't remember why we took that off, but I know that there was that we were talking about it, and I don't know why it's not on there. Can you refresh my memory for why it's not on
Yes.
there?
So it's still on there. We marked it as that there was a presentation that was done last April. We didn't remove it because we feel like that's something that we want to continue to revisit, is the ELA curriculum K through 12, really.
Yeah,
but that's not
not
something
on there.
where we have not removed it at all.
Yeah, but it's only I think it was 5 through 8. It wasn't K-12.
I believe when we did the presentation last time, Dr. Ackerman, we focused on the middle school because that was someone's specific request. I don't know if it was yours or another member of this committee, but
I
that
think it was
was the
mine.
specific request.
Yeah, but my question is, when I looked at it, well, when it was read to me this afternoon, it wasn't on there, and when I saw it today, I didn't see anything about the middle school on there. Did I miss it, or are you saying it's still on there, but I
Oh,
don't?
no, it's still on there. The
Okay.
regular review of the ELA curriculum is still on there, and I would, anticipate that for as long as I'm here, and I'm sure as long as you're here, Dr. Ackerman, we're going to continue to talk about English language arts.
But doesn't it just say 6 through?
Does it? Let me
Yeah,
look at it again.
yeah, it doesn't say through 12.
Well,
It
well,
doesn't,
we can make that change.
yeah. Unless I'm mistaken, because I truly can't see very well at all, but I don't
I,
think it does.
I'm going to have to look at it because I don't have it up right now. I will look. Let me look at that right now.
Okay. I wish I had said that before.
It actually says K through 5.
Yeah, it doesn't say middle school. Is
Mhm.
it, yeah. And I was wondering why did we take that off? Because I don't remember taking it off. And you're
Yeah,
saying we didn't. So something's wrong there.
yeah, we did not remove anything. Maybe what happened was when it came to when it came onto the referral or the referral tracker document for the first time, whoever brought it forward asked for a K through 5 review. I think that precedes my time here in the district, but we certainly can make that modification if you want it to reflect a
Yeah.
K through 12 review. Happy to do
Yes.
that. I know that I can tell you at the upcoming March meeting, I believe it's a COW, our elementary literacy person is going to be doing a review of K through 3 literacy, essentially, and the most recent Dibbles results, and that was again at the request of Chairman Washington. So I expect that we'll be providing updates on literacy and math. I mean, pretty regularly.
Yeah. And Mr. Shinbrad, I apologize for not mentioning this when we were on that. So I'm very sorry.
Don't sweat it. Not a big deal.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any, Andrea, your hand is still up. Are you still, are you
Oh,
all?
no, I'm very, no, let me see. No, wait a minute. Hold on. I can't see. Wait a minute there. I think, is it gone? Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Sorry.
John. Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Is it my turn?
I believe unless anyone has anything else, it is your turn. And Anne Marie, I'm going to ask you to stay on for a minute because I have a question for you. Okay,
And
after
the,
we adjourn.
So before I say this, Mitch, I wanted to thank you very, very much for your kind words about um, um, the day of the now I can't even think of it. The now I'm embarrassing myself. I'm very sorry, but about the day that we had all of the people come together.
Oh, Career Day.
Career Day. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Oh,
you for your kind words about that.
you're
So,
welcome.
okay, with that said, motion to adjourn.
Okay. Any seconds? I'll second it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.